Welcome back to Advanced Skills Learning. GenAI prototypes are easy. Production systems are hard. In this series, we focus on the decisions that determine whether your system actually works at scale. Today's decision is simple, but controversial. Stop using RAG for everything. Retrieval-Augmented Generation has become the default architecture pattern. New GenAI project? Add RAG. Hallucinations? Add more RAG. Data mismatch? Add RAG again. But that instinct creates fragile systems. Because RAG solves one specific problem, missing knowledge. And when the problem is not missing knowledge, retrieval becomes architectural noise which quietly makes systems worse. Let's start with what RAG is actually designed to do. Large language models are trained on static data. They do not know your company policies. They do not know yesterday's documentation update. They do not know your private knowledge base. RAG bridges that gap. It retrieves relevant documents and injects them into the prompt. This grounds the model in external information. It reduces hallucination when the answer exists in text form but outside the model. That is its strength, knowledge grounding. Now let's examine where RAG fails. RAG fails when the task is structured querying. It fails when the task requires real-time state. And it fails when the task requires deterministic logic. In other words, when the problem is about precision, freshness, or control, retrieval is the wrong abstraction. Quick check, 2 seconds. What is RAG best suited for? A. Replacing databases. B. Knowledge grounding. C. Real-time calculations. Keep your guess. The answer is B. Knowledge grounding. Now let's compare RAG with other approaches. First, RAG versus structured data. Vector search is probabilistic. It finds semantically similar content. It does not guarantee exact matches. If your problem requires precise filters, like transactions above $10,000 in March, a database query is deterministic. It is exact, it is explainable, it is auditable. Using RAG for structured queries introduces ambiguity where precision is required. That is not innovation, that is architectural confusion. Second, RAG versus real-time systems. RAG relies on indexed data. Indexes update on schedules. They are not real-time state engines. If you are building live pricing systems, inventory checks, fraud detection, or transaction validation, retrieval adds latency and stale data risk. APIs exist for a reason. They reflect current state. RAG reflects stored context. Third, RAG versus business logic. RAG retrieves documents. It does not execute rules. It does not enforce conditional workflows. If your system requires deterministic decisions, eligibility checks, compliance flows, escalation logic, you need a workflow engine or rules engine. An LLM generating text around rules is not the same as enforcing them. This is where many GenAI systems break. Teams confuse explanation with execution. Now consider the hidden cost of overusing RAG. Every retrieval step adds latency. Every document injected increases token usage. Every additional component introduces failure points. Indexes drift. Embeddings become stale. Retrievers misrank. Your system becomes heavier, slower, more expensive, and harder to debug. Ironically, the attempt to reduce hallucination can increase unpredictability. So when does RAG actually make sense? It works well for FAQ assistance, policy search tools, knowledge-based chatbots, large document corpora where answers are embedded in text. When the answer exists in documents, retrieval is powerful. When the answer must be computed, filtered, or enforced, retrieval is the wrong abstraction. Quick check, 2 seconds. Which system should not use RAG? A. FAQ chatbot. B. Policy document assistant. C. Real-time fraud detection. Keep your guess. The answer is C. Real-time fraud detection. So how do we decide correctly? Ask 3 questions before adding RAG. Is the failure due to missing knowledge? Or missing logic? Is the data document-based? Or structured and transactional? Does the system require contextual approximation? Or deterministic precision? If knowledge is missing, use retrieval. If structure is required, use databases. If immediacy is required, use APIs. If control is required, use workflow engines. Strong GenAI systems are modular. They combine the right tools intentionally. They do not bolt retrieval onto every gap. Let's summarize clearly. RAG is powerful, but narrow. It solves knowledge grounding. It does not replace databases. It does not replace APIs. It does not replace business logic engines. Overusing RAG increases latency, cost, and complexity. Disciplined architecture reduces all 3. In production systems, clarity beats trend following. Use retrieval when it fits, and remove it when it doesn't. Thanks for watching. If this video helped, like the video and subscribe to Advanced Skills Learning for more GenAI explainers, practical architectures, and quick quizzes to test your understanding.